Maya Avatar welcomes you for new hashtag title. Who is Osiris?
Osiris was a very important god in ancient Egypt. He was known as a king, a god of farming, and the ruler of the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed he was one of the first kings to rule over the land. He was a good and wise king who taught people how to live civilized lives. He showed them how to grow crops like wheat and barley, which fed the entire country. This made him very popular and loved by his people. They saw him not just as a ruler, but as a kind teacher who brought prosperity and order to their world, making their daily lives better and more secure. His family was also made up of powerful gods and goddesses. Osiris was the son of Geb, the earth god, and Nut, the sky goddess. He had two sisters, Isis and Nephthys, and a brother named Set. Osiris married his sister Isis, and together they were a beloved royal couple. Their family was one of the most central groups in all of Egyptian mythology. The stories about them explain many things about the world, such as the changing seasons, the importance of family loyalty, and the eternal struggle between order and chaos, which was a core belief for the ancient Egyptians. The importance of Osiris comes from his connection to life, death, and rebirth. He represented the cycle of nature, where plants grow, die, and then grow again in the spring. For the Egyptians, this cycle was a promise of eternal life. They believed that just as Osiris was brought back to life, they too could live on after they died. This hope made him one of the most worshipped gods in Egypt for thousands of years. His story offered comfort and a deep sense of spiritual security to everyone, from the mightiest pharaoh to the humblest farmer working in the fields. His tale is one of the most famous myths from ancient Egypt. It is a story of love, jealousy, betrayal, and ultimate triumph. It explained why the pharaohs were seen as divine rulers on earth, and why the Egyptians placed so much importance on preparing for the journey to the afterlife. The myth of Osiris was not just a simple story. It was a fundamental part of their religious beliefs and their understanding of the cosmos. It shaped their art, their rituals, and their grand monuments, leaving a legacy that we can still explore and admire today. The story of Osiris begins with him as a great king on earth. He ruled with his wife, Queen Isis, and together they brought peace and prosperity to Egypt. He taught his people the arts of agriculture and law, helping them build a great civilization. Under his rule, the people were happy and the land was fertile. They learned how to make bread and brew beer from the grains he showed them how to cultivate. Osiris was seen as the source of all good things, a benevolent leader who cared deeply for his subjects and established the foundations of their society. However, not everyone was happy with Osiris's success. His brother Set was filled with jealousy. Set was the god of chaos, deserts, and storms, and he hated the order and harmony that Osiris brought to the land. He wanted to be the king himself. So, Set created a wicked plan to get rid of his brother forever. He secretly measured Osiris's body and had a beautiful chest made to those exact dimensions. This chest was part of a terrible trap designed to remove Osiris from power and plunge the kingdom into darkness under his own chaotic rule. During a large feast, Set brought out the magnificent chest. He announced that whoever fit inside it perfectly could keep it as a gift. Many guests tried, but none of them fit. Then, Osiris decided to try. As soon as he lay down inside the chest, Set and his followers slammed the lid shut, sealed it with lead, and threw it into the Nile River. The chest floated down the river and out to sea, carrying the trapped king with it. This act of betrayal marked a dark turn in the story, symbolizing the ever-present threat of chaos, disrupting the peaceful order of the world. The heartbroken Queen Isis searched everywhere for her husband. She traveled all over Egypt and beyond, crying and asking everyone she met if they had seen the chest. Eventually, she found it in a faraway land, hidden inside a giant tree. She managed to bring the chest back to Egypt, hoping to use her magic to bring Osiris back to life. Her determined search shows her powerful love and loyalty, qualities that made her one of the most important goddesses in Egyptian religion. Her journey was a quest not just for her husband, but to restore balance to the world. After Isis found Osiris, she used her powerful magic to revive him, but only for a short time. It was during this brief reunion that their son Horus was conceived. However, the story was not over. Set discovered that Isis had hidden Osiris's body in the marshes. In a fit of rage, Set found the body, cut it into many pieces, and scattered them all across Egypt. This cruel act was meant to ensure that Osiris could never be made whole again and could never return to rule the land of the living. It represented the ultimate victory of chaos over order, at least for a time. Isis, with the help of her sister Nephthys, did not give up. They painstakingly searched for every piece of Osiris's body. They traveled the length of the Nile, collecting the scattered parts. Once they had found them all, they carefully put him back together. Anubis, the god of mummification, helped them by wrapping Osiris in linen bandages. This was the very first mummy ever created. Through this act, Osiris was transformed. He could no longer rule as a king on earth, but he was given a new and even more important role to play in the cosmos. Because he had overcome death, Osiris became the king of the afterlife, also known as the Duat. He was the judge of the dead, who would decide if a person's soul was worthy of entering the paradise of the field of reeds. The ancient Egyptians believed that after they died, their heart would be weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. Osiris would oversee this ceremony. If the heart was light and free of sin, the person could join Osiris in a peaceful eternal life, continuing their existence in a perfected version of Egypt. People worshipped Osiris because he offered them hope for life after death. They believed that by following his example of goodness and by performing the correct deeds, they too could reach the kingdom. Temples were built in his honor, and festivals were held to celebrate his story of death and resurrection. The most important center to be his burial place. Pilgrims would travel there to be close to their Lord of Eternity, ensuring his memory and power remained central to their faith for centuries. Many powerful symbols are connected to Osiris, and they help us understand his role. The most famous are the crook and the flail, which he is often shown holding. The crook, a shepherd's staff, symbolized his role as a king and a guide for his people. The flail, a tool used for threshing grain, represented the fertility of the land and his authority as a provider. He is also often depicted with green or black skin, which symbolizes resurrection and the fertile black soil of the Nile River Valley from which all life in Egypt grew and was sustained. Another very important symbol associated with Osiris is the Djed pillar. This symbol looks like a column with 4 horizontal bars at the top. It is thought to represent his backbone. The Djed pillar stands for stability, strength, and permanence. During festivals, the ceremony of raising the Djed was performed to celebrate Osiris's resurrection and the triumph of order over chaos. This ritual magically ensured the stability of the kingdom and the continued favor of the gods for the coming year, reaffirming the core principles of the Egyptian worldview. Even though the ancient Egyptian religion is no longer practiced, Osiris is still remembered today. His story is one of the most complete and compelling myths to survive from the ancient world. Scholars and historians study his myth to understand the beliefs, values, and culture of ancient Egypt. His tale of life, death, and rebirth is a universal theme that appears in many cultures and religions around the world. It speaks to the human desire for justice and the hope for an existence beyond our mortal lives, making it timeless and relatable. The legacy of Osiris can be seen in museums all over the globe, where statues, tomb paintings, and papyri tell his story. Movies, books, and documentaries continue to explore his myth, introducing him to new generations. He represents a deep and sophisticated understanding of the cycles of nature and the human condition. By learning about Osiris, we get a glimpse into the minds of the ancient Egyptians and their profound belief in the promise of eternal life, a belief that shaped one of history's most fascinating civilizations and continues to capture our imagination.
வணக்கம் நண்பர்களே, இது உங்கள் மாயா பேசுறேன். நான் இப்போ மாயா அவதார் யூடியூப் சேனலுக்கு வந்திருக்கேன். இந்த சேனல்ல நாம செய்வது எல்லாமே கட்டப்பட்டு எடுத்த வீடியோக்கள், உண்மை அனுபவங்கள், கலாச்சாரம், காமெடி, விலங்குகள், ஆன்மீகம் எல்லாம் கலந்த ஒரு தனி உலகம். நீங்களும் ஒரு பங்காக இருங்க. வீடியோக்கே ஒரு லைக் கொடுங்க. உங்கள் கருத்துக்களையும் கீழே பதிவு பண்ணுங்க. முக்கியமா மாயா அவதார் சேனலுக்கு சப்ஸ்கிரைப்